Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Aganda Timarandasya Ganajana Shivakaya Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tajma Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Hare Krishna. The following video series is a summary of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam was translated into English by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Also included are His in-depth commentaries known as purports. These purports unpack the often complex and symbolic language of the text, making it understandable to a wider audience. The Srimad Bhagavatam, also known as the Bhagavata Purana, is considered the most important of sacred scriptures. Composed around 5,000 years ago, it is considered the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic literature and the original commentary on the Vedanta-sutra. The author of Srimad Bhagavatam is Srila Vyasadeva. He is also the compiler of the Vedas, classified as a Purana, a vast genre of ancient stories and knowledge encompassing history, philosophy, and spiritual teachings. Srimad Bhagavatam includes stories of avatars, creation narratives, lives of saints and sages, philosophy discourses, and practical guidance for spiritual life. Divided into 12 cantos with over 18,000 verses covering 10 subject matters. 1. The elemental creation. 2. The secondary creation. 3. The planetary systems. 4. Protection by the Lord. 5. The creative impetus. 6. Manvatars. 7. The science of God. 8. The dissolution. 9. Liberation. And 10. The supreme shelter. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila, chapter 25, text 143 and 144, Lord Chaitanya, speaking to Prakrisananda Saraswati, tells him. Translation. The meaning of the Vedanta-sutra is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. The full purport of the Mahabharata is also there. The commentary of the Bhagavad Gayatri is also there and fully expanded with all Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the Supreme Purana. It was compiled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His incarnation as Vyasadeva. There are 12 cantos, 335 chapters, and 18,000 verses. Canto 10, chapters 53 through 60. Chapter 53, Krishna Kidnaps Rukmini. This chapter describes how Lord Sri Krishna arrived in Kundina, the capital of Vidarbha, and kidnapped Rukmini in the presence of powerful enemies. Lord Krishna, having received Rukmini's plea, quickly traveled to Kundina, the capital of Vidarbha, to rescue her from her brother Rukmini's plans to marry her to Sisipal. Despite powerful kings like Jarasandha, Salva, and Dantavarkra conspiring against him, Krishna arrived with Lord Balaram and his army. During Rukmini's visit to the Ambika temple, she prayed for Krishna, and seeing him allowed herself to be taken. With unmatched courage and skill, Krishna drove away all opposing kings, defeated their armies, and safely brought Rukmini to Dwarka, leaving the enemy kings humiliated. A verse from chapter 53 is text 56. Rasam samarupa samarlaksaram Rajaya chakram paribu madhava Tatoyaya ramas purgrama sanai Srigala madhya iva bagridari. Translation. Like a lion removing the prey from the midst of jackals, Lord Madhava lifted the princess onto his chariot, whose flag bore the emblem of Garuda, and, disregarding the circle of kings, slowly exited with Balaram in the lead. Chapter 54, The Marriage of Krishna and Rukmini. This chapter describes how Lord Sri Krishna defeated the opposing kings after kidnapping Rukmini, disfiguring Rukmini's brother Rukmi, brought Rukmini to his capital, and married her. after kidnapping Rukmini. Lord Krishna faced armies of hostile kings. With the help of Lord Balaram and the Yadava warriors, Krishna swiftly defeated the enemy, forcing leaders like Jarasandha and Sisupal to retreat. Rukmini's brother Rukmi, attempting to confront Krishna, was overpowered. Krishna spared his life, but disfigured him slightly, teaching the futility of anger and attachment. Krishna then safely brought Rukmini to Dwarka and married her, with the entire city rejoicing in celebration and marveling at the Lord's courage and divine skill. A verse from chapter 54 is text 43. Atma moho nirnameva kapate deva mayaya suriddurid udasina iti dehatma maninam. Translation. The Supreme Lord's Maya makes men forget their real selves, and thus taking the body for the self, they consider other to be friends, enemies, or neutral parties. Chapter 55, the history of Pradyumna. This chapter tells how Pradyumna was born as the son of Lord Krishna and then kidnapped by the demon Sambara. It also describes how Pradyumna killed Sambara and returned home with his wife. Pradyumna, born to Lord Krishna and Rukmini, was kidnapped by the demon Sambara as an infant. Swallowed by a fish and recovered by the demon's cooks, Pradyumna was raised by Mayavati, the wife of Kamadev. Guided by her and instructed by Mahamaya mantras, Pradyumna grew to maturity, defeated and killed Sambara, and returned to Dwarka with his wife. His divine beauties so closely resembled Krishna's that all who saw him were struck with wonder. A verse from chapter 55 is text 25. Akriyamana vidyahi stuvabi kusumo sakrahi Bharyayam Bharacharya Puram Nito Vihasyasa. Translation. As the residents of the higher planets showered Pradyumna with flowers and chanted his praises, his wife appeared in the sky and transported him through the heavens back to the city of Dwarka. Chapter 56, the Syamantaka Jewel. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna recovered the Syamantaka jewel to allay false accusations against him and marry the daughters of Jambavan and Satrajit. King Satrajit, obsessed with the gem, refused to give it to Krishna. When Satrajit's brother Prasena was killed by a lion while wearing the jewel, people wrongly suspected Krishna. Krishna traced the jewel to Jambavan's cave, where he fought the mighty bear king for 28 days. Recognizing Krishna as the Supreme Lord, Jambavan surrendered the jewel along with his daughter, Jambavati. Returning to Dwarka, Krishna restored the jewel to Satrajit and married Jambavati. Later, Satrajit, feeling remorseful, offered his daughter Satyabhama to Krishna, which he accepted. But he declined the jewel. A verse from chapter 56 is text 23. Dvanvayutam sutumulam ubhayor vigisato Adyu hasma dumir dorbi kravyarte senayor iva. Translation. The two fought furiously in single combat, each determined to win, contending against each other with various weapons, and then with stones, tree trunks, and finally their bare arms. They struggled like two hawks, battling over a piece of flesh. Chapter 57. Satrajit murdered, the jewel returned. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna, after the murder of Satrajit, killed Satyadanva and had Akura bring the Syamantaka jewel back to Dwarka. Satyadanva murdered Satrajit and sold the Syamantaka jewel. Lord Krishna returned from Hastinapur to Dwarka with Balaram and heard the news. He pursued and beheaded Satyadanva, but the jewel was missing. Balaram suggested that Krishna return to Dwarka, while he went to Mithila to teach fighting skills. Krishna performed Satrajit's funeral rites and had Akura brought back from exile. Knowing that Satyadanva had left the jewel with Akura, Krishna requested it, displayed it briefly to his family, and then returned it to Akura, ensuring its protection while honoring rightful claims. A verse from chapter 57 is text 15. Yad idam lilaya visvam srijaya vrati hanticha Chestam vispas rijoyasya navidur mohita jaya. Translation. It is the Supreme Lord who creates, maintains, and destroys this universe simply by his pastimes. The cosmic creators cannot even understand his purpose, bewildered as they are by his illusionary Maya. Chapter 58. Krishna marries 5 princesses. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna married 5 brides, beginning with Kalindi, and went to Indraprastha to visit the Pandavas. After the Pandavas completed their incognito exile, Lord Krishna visited them in Indraprastha, receiving warm hospitality and spending several months with them. During this time he married 5 princesses. First he married Kalindi, the daughter of the sun god, who had performed austerities to attain him. Later he married Mitravinda, abducted her in the presence of many kings. In Ayodhya he subdued 7 fierce bulls to win Satya and returned with her to Dwarka. Krishna also married Lakshmana, the daughter of the king Madra, and Bhadra, a princess of Kayike kingdom. These events illustrate Krishna's divine power, his favor towards devotees, and his intimate participation in their worldly and spiritual welfare. A verse from chapter 58 is text 10. Nate sisva para prantir vivashya sudri atmana tathapi smaratam sasvat klesam hamsi hridistita. Translation. Were you the well-wishing friend and the supreme soul of the universe? There is never any illusion of us and them. Yet even so, residing within the hearts of all, you eradicate the sufferings of those who remember you constantly. Chapter 59. The killing of the demon Naraka. This chapter describes how Krishna killed the demon Narakasura, who had stolen divine treasures and kidnapped 16,100 maidens. Accompanied by Queen Satyabhama, Krishna defeated Narakasura and his army, restored the stolen items to the demigods, and returned the maidens to Dwarka. He also uprooted the heavenly Parijata tree for Satyabhama, overcome the objections of Indra and other demigods. Demonstrating his divine omnipotence, Krishna manifested 16,100 forms, marrying each maiden in a separate palace, and performed the duties of a householder while maintaining his supreme divinity. A verse from chapter 59 is text 26. Nama Pankaja Nabhaya Nama Pankaja Maline Nama Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangrahe. Translation. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as a lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Chapter 60. Lord Krishna teases Queen Rukmini. This chapter shows how Lord Krishna playfully provoked Queen Rukmini's anger to demonstrate the charm of a lover's quarrel. While she attended him, Krishna jokingly criticized himself and questioned why she chose him over wealthy suitors, causing Rukmini to feel hurt and faint. Seeing her distress, Krishna immediately consoled her, explaining that his words were playful and intended to reveal her devotion and chastity. Rukmini realized his teasing was a form of loving engagement and affirmed her unwavering attachment to him. Through this pastime, Krishna illustrated the intimate joys of household life while fulfilling his duties as a devoted husband, rejecting the divine interplay of love and devotion between the Lord and his consort. A verse from chapter 60 is text 25. Tadrishva Bhagavan Krishna Priyaya Prema Bandhanam Asha Pandim Agyanatya Karuna Ko Vakampata. Translation. Seeing that his beloved was so bound to him in love that she could not understand the full meaning of his teasing, merciful Lord Krishna felt compassion for her. That's the end of chapters 53 through 60.